Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Fitness Business Growth. This is episode 79, part 7 of our marketing and sales series. Today, we're talking about onboarding. So if you haven't watched part 1 to 6, we have got the offer is king. We've got lead generation campaigns, lead nurturing book calls, our sales process, trial closing, and objection handling.
Nice memory.
So all good. So it could be part 6, actually. Maybe my memory isn't that nice after all.
6 or 7.
6 or 7. So today, guys, what we're going to discuss is onboarding. So pretty much what happens if we sell a 28-day challenge, a 6-week challenge into your program, what is the next step to ensure that you convert them onto the back of a long-term member? Because that's what it's actually all about.
I'm just laughing because onboarding is very unsexy.
Yeah, very unsexy.
I can't imagine many people outside of this industry or this exact niche would care too much about
very
this.
Low
But
view
very important. So
very
that's why
very
we're
important.
discussing it. So
before you go, I just want to recap. So just to be clear, so we have just sold someone into our gym, 28 days or a 6-week challenge. And I want to pick it up, mate, of what happens next. And the first things first is to reinforce the sale and make that person feel like they made a good decision.
If they have been closed on the phone, which in our situation 99 times out of 100 was, we want to, like Jayme said, ensure that they are feeling good about what they've just done. They've just signed up to some sort of commitment, a month or 6 weeks, 28 days, whatever it may be. They've likely exchanged funds. They've likely provided information. They've likely agreed to a start date. They've likely agreed to this, even though it's only a few weeks or, a month or month and a half. They've agreed to commit to this amount of time, and it can be quite scary. It can be quite overwhelming. And although we have never been a fly on the wall, I can imagine after that phone call, sometimes people would think, "Shit,
what did I just do?
I'm doing it now," and there would be a lot of uncertainty and a bit of anxiety and worry and overwhelm. So we just want to do our best to squash that.
So we referenced this last episode, but I want to address it because it's really, really important. Like within the next 5 or 10 minutes, it is so important they get a message or an email confirming that decision. Hi, Mitch, thanks so much for enrolling in our 28-day program. Super excited to have you start Monday at 6 a.m. Here's the address. Here is where you park. And make that transition as smooth as possible. Get them into the Facebook group. If you have another trainer, get them to reach out to them. Do everything possible to increase the likelihood that they make that first session.
Yeah, we had a person in our team, Brody, who was onboarding specialist and would follow up all these people that we would send through. And one of her main jobs was to reach out to these people as soon as possible. Now, obviously, if you're doing a call at 6 o'clock at night, I'm not going to expect her to do that. But first thing the next day, she would reach out, say hello, say that they're excited, confirm the session time, confirm the address, towel and water bottle. Please arrive 10 minutes early. Here's where you park. Here's our Facebook group. Here are any bonuses if you haven't got them yet. As much as you can, as well as providing a bit of optimism and encouragement of, I'm really excited for you to start out. It'll be great to have you on board. Can't wait to meet you. And that reinforcement just after they have signed up and they've made a decision, maybe they are gung-ho and they're really excited and that message isn't as important as it is for some, but there is a huge component of worry and overwhelm for a portion of people. So if they're able to get a really positive message off someone else from the team, then it's like, okay, well, not only did I just speak to Jayme or Mitch or whoever on the phone, I have got someone else from the team who's reached out.
As far as I'm concerned, you can't go far enough. You can send a video message if you want. Like you should do whatever you can to make this person feel like, hey, you've made a great decision. This is going to be your new home of fitness. Now, I mentioned this last podcast episode too. I want to double down. If I sell someone, whether it was over the phone or in person, and I felt that person maybe isn't as sold as she should be, or she's going home to talk to her partner just to triple check to confirm, I would always text you and say, hey, Mitch, please reach out to this person as fast as possible and introduce yourself.
Did that earlier this week with someone.
Yeah, did. Jim, I bought on. Still do it.
Yeah. So it's that assist where you're pretty sure they're going to continue. That you had a really good conversation. They've agreed, but Jayme has done enough sales. I've done enough sales to know that maybe it's just not a 100% certainty. Like you wouldn't put your house on it. So just to make that even more probable that they are going to take the next step, you have business partner in this instance, or someone from the team, head trainer, admin person, whoever, someone just to reach out and say, hey, I'm also part of this team. I just had a conversation with Jayme. Really, really excited to have you start. It'll be awesome to have you in. You're going to fit in really well. Can't wait to meet you Monday, 6 a.m.
Cool. Now, there's really two ways to sell the next, well, actually, there's three ways to sell the next ongoing membership. And there is the silent sale. It's what we did, going back and forth between the silent sale and selling it week 2. And you can also sell at the end of the challenge. So let's work in reverse order. Mitch, if you do a 6-week challenge, why don't you want to sell the next membership at week 6?
Well, I think at that point, they may already have one foot out the door. They have probably been expecting to have some sort of conversation. And as stupid as it might sound, they might think, well, maybe this was just a 6-week thing. And I don't know if they want me to continue. Like, the consumer doesn't know. So by that time as well, after 6 weeks, motivation may have started to wane a little bit, may have started to wear off. If there is some sort of weighing at the end, or there's some sort of body composition assessment at the end, maybe they don't get the results that they really thought they were going to get, even though they have put in all this hard work. There's a lot of ifs that can come into the equation if you wait the whole 6 weeks. So this is why
the amount of owners I talk to that do low ticket offers, like 2 for 20 or 28 for 28, that ghost them in week 4. Because of those reasons, like they may not want to continue. They're not sure of how to continue. They may not even know the price ongoing if you do low ticket.
Yeah, there's just a lot of ifs. So we never, if there's one thing we did do right, even though we kind of fluctuated between the other two options, we never would wait to the end.
Never ever.
Because there are a lot of things that can happen in that time. They can have a sick child and then they miss a couple of sessions. They could be sick. Something else can come up. Their car could break down.
The 6 weeks could cross over the school holidays. So much can go wrong.
There's a lot that can happen by the end. So you've either got to catch them a couple of weeks earlier or catch them at the very start. So we'll go through that.
So
now.
We did fluctuate between the silent sale and week 2. And for the most part, I think they are similar if you have a world-class onboarding person like Brody. Because whether you do the silent sale or do it week 2, it doesn't change the fact that the first 28 days or 6 weeks needs to be absolutely amazing. And just because they sign day 1 or week 2 doesn't mean they're going to continue, which is why we fluctuated between both to see what we felt worked better.
Yeah. And I think the mistake some owners make is they do a silent sale, which we'll talk about, and then they think the job's done and they think that's it, they're signed up, and then they don't really give them as much TLC and support and accountability throughout that period. And then they start to wonder why they all of a sudden after a week or 2 weeks say, hey, I don't think I want to continue this. Please disregard what I signed earlier.
I was asked, mate, in 2015, 21-day challenge for $21. Membership starts day 22. And I was like, almost day 22. It's just not what it's about. And that just doesn't cut it in 2024. Maybe it did in 2015.
Yeah, we'll talk about the silent sale to start, I think. And I think it removes complexity if you don't have someone on your team that can be that onboarding person like Brody was for us. So different businesses have different operation setups, different staffing situations. So if you don't have someone dedicated to that, and maybe that's can be you as in the owner, if you don't have the bandwidth to do it, I'd probably question what else you're doing that's more important than that. But let's just say you don't, and you don't have an admin person or a team member that can do it, then the silent sale is going to be very helpful because it removes a lot of that additional, I guess, not mucking around, but a lot of those additional steps throughout that period when it can be a little bit stressful trying to catch up with them to organize that consultation.
Okay, so let's discuss the silent sale. And I want to lead with, this is the exact reason why we sell at your membership price or above, to make this conversation as easy as possible. We visited one of our clients in Sydney about onboarding clients. We had them fill out a waiver and talk them through word for word exactly how to do it. So Mitch, do you want to take over?
Yeah, so silent sale, or it can be called the assumptive sale, or even the auto renew sale, if you think of it from like, maybe it's like a software standpoint. But effectively, what it is, people will come in for their first session. You would have a team member sit down with them before that first session to complete the waiver, to complete the paperwork. You sit down with them. At the top of that form, you have some basic details. You get them to start to jot down name, phone number, email, goals, address, all these different things. And then you've got...
So I'll jump in. Pretty much the information you collected in the consult or on the sales call is on that form, and you're just kind of recapping it.
and you want them to start to get in the habit of filling out these details again and being agreeable. Then you go into the waiver where you have the actual legality stuff, compliance stuff, which I'm sure you guys all have. You plug all your things in there. So
You sure about that?
if maybe not.
Yeah.
I hope you've got it. And it's effectively saying if they drop dead, they're not going to sue you. They probably would if you drop dead, but you get my point. Then after they agree to that, and you walk through that with them, at the very end there, this is where you'll have a paragraph or 2 paragraphs where you're going to have some verbiage in that around this membership will continue beyond this initial period, 28 days, 6 weeks, at the price. Insert membership price, which will be billed weekly, fortnightly, whatever you've got, unless you let us know during this period otherwise. Okay, so the basis of what you're saying is that this will automatically continue at this price, this frequency, unless you come to us and say, I don't want to.
Yep. Tick this box right now if you want to opt out. So it's also the box is already ticked to continue. They have to untick it.
As opposed to having to say, hey, I want to sign up, and then doing all that. It's like, hey, you are signed up unless you talk to us within this 4 weeks or 6 weeks and you don't want to do it.
So the most simple thing, thanks for coming down. We really appreciate it. Super excited for you to achieve XYZ goal for XYZ reason. Please fill out our waiver. Just so you know, your membership continues day 29 and beyond. The good news is the price is exactly the same or it's actually cheaper. So tick this box if you don't want that to occur.
Yeah, and it's longer than a 30-second chat. That's where it's really important that it's in person, or at least you can do it on the phone, of course, like we do, but most of the time we'll be in person. You're going through all those other things. You're taking the time, hey, please document this. Here's the waiver, going through that. And then you say, and just so you know, and then you insert that verbiage there. And we like to suggest making a bit of a joke of it. Where it's like, let's just say you come through and you hate us and you hate everyone here and our breath stinks and we're chasing you around with a whip and you can't stand it and then
just let me know.
Yeah, just let me know. And then there's a bit of a laugh and
so it completely flips it from you chasing them up week 3 to week 4 to then they've got to actually chase you up. And from what we've seen, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of sales for accounts in our gyms, people are just so agreeable at the start because they're excited about the upcoming journey. They're excited about getting the results. So at the start is where you want to really do that.
Yeah, and there will be a very, very small portion of people who might have question about it, in which case you can not proceed with that and then go with the second option, which
it's a numbers thing, right? Like if you have 100 people come through, maybe 5 opt out, the other 95 won't.
Yeah.
And it's just getting used to having that conversation. And just, it is such a natural conversation. It is, we're filling out the form, we're talking about your goals, membership continues, price is the same. If you don't, let us know. We just take care of the admin now to save doing time at the end because 97% stay anyway. Lol.
And why that price is so important for us with the service we provide is, let's just say for convenience sake, your membership $60 a week. We will sell your program at $60 a week or even in a little bit in excess of that because we provide some bonuses and a few other bits of value. Now, let's just say your membership was then $80 a week or $100 a week. It's very hard just to say to that person, oh, this will continue beyond the 6 weeks or 28 days and it'll just be $100 a week.
Yeah.
As opposed to the 60 you paid. Now flip the switch there. It's like, well, if they've already paid 60 or maybe they paid 70 or 75, and then you say, just so you know here, like things will continue on beyond the initial period. The membership price is actually $60 a week. So it's the same as what you paid initially, or it's actually a bit less than what you paid initially. And then you go through it from there. But that price point is so important and it might only feel like a few dollars either way. But if they're having to pay more than what they paid initially, sometimes that can be enough for
My
people.
blood's boiling, mate. We're going to talk about the Matthew syndrome. So every hard lesson we've ever learned in business, we assign a name to it and the person who taught us. So it was 3 or 4 years ago. We ran a 6-week challenge. Our price was just say 60 a week for math's sake. And the 6-week challenge was $300. So the membership was $10 more per week than the actual challenge cost. Matthew came to our gym. He lost 13 kilos in 6 weeks, won the challenge, won $1,000 and didn't continue. He said, I was happy to pay 50 a week, but just that extra $10. And like, it's almost like you have to do another sales call if you increase the price by $5 or $10 or let alone 20, 30, 40, 50. The older I get, mate, I try not talk in absolutes because everything works, but pretty certain that low barrier offers are definitely harder to convert than people that have paid the right price.
I'll die on that hill.
So that's an absolute?
Yeah, the old days of, and you still see it, $20 for 2 weeks, 7 for 7, 49 for 3. Good luck trying to flip them into a membership at any type of good percentage.
Speaking about absolutes, so this blew me away. So when we first started FBC, I came across a few agencies where their job is to convert trials.
I do this.
Yeah, I literally do this job. And they've already got the credit card number. That's not fucking sales. And like, if you are outsourcing your marketing and your sales and your onboarding responsibility, you're outsourcing your entire business. Like, I will die on that hill. We have gym owners come to us like, hey, like, can you just follow them up in the trial period? And we've thought about it. Should we do it? Is it worth it? Probably not. But like, you cannot automate the sales process. And the second you speak to someone, you pass them over to the owner, they forget you exist.
Well, I think what you didn't mention there with the low barrier offer is the quality of person you get in. And that's such a huge thing, which we really pride ourselves on, is because people are paying at least what your membership price is, if not more. Price is not a barrier.
Well, even if we drop sort of 1 week, we sell 1 week at their membership price.
We will never ever do a low barrier, because I'm sure anyone watching this is either an owner or works in a gym, and if someone comes through on a cheap deal, the quality of that person isn't going to be as high as someone who's paid the premium amount or the membership amount to be there. So we will see people that run low barrier offers, and they might get a good amount of people through, but they'll only convert 5 or 10% of them. And for us, we feel like that 50% is an absolute minimum for conversion. And we have our better studios that are converting somewhere between 80 and 90% of people. So the quality of person is directly proportional to how much money they have paid to be there.
Yeah. And of course, there is the exception. Of course, we're talking about the vast majority.
Of course, like I'm sure, like not every person we send through who's paid is going to sign up and be a long-term member. Of course, but when we look at data and we look at things across different accounts in different modalities and different locations across different states over a long period of time, as well as our experience, we can definitively say that someone who's paid to be there at the same price of what their membership is a better quality person.
It's like the number one thing I hear when I talk to gym owners, like, yeah, I have a bunch of tire kickers come through. We had a member actually, and she told me this, and I was fuming on the inside because obviously being a gym owner, I know it's hard. She did like there was like 7 F45s in Newcastle at the time. They were doing a 2-week trial free, and she literally bounced between studios. 2 times 7 for
14 weeks.
14 weeks of free training. So like, if she had to pay for a 28-day program or 6-week program, not only would she come more, but she's probably going to stay too. Yeah. And hang on, now I'm getting angry because gym owners are just fucking flat out disrespected. Like, the amount of free shit that we give away compared to other industries does my head in. I cannot get a free satay skewer and pad thai at every Thai restaurant in Newcastle.
Well, even for a service, no one's going to mow your lawn for free.
No one's going to paint your walls for free.
And that's a whole different conversation. So let's move on to the next option, where it is selling about 2 weeks before the program finishes.
And we made this change towards the end of our gyms, and we actually went back to the start sale for our client because they don't have the secret weapon that's called Brody. So run me through the first 2 weeks of the onboarding, what that looked like and what Brody was doing.
Yeah, well, it depends on how long the program is. We normally find 2 to 3 weeks in or 2 to 3 weeks before the program finishes is when you want to be having that conversation. But leading into that, when they start, obviously we do the handover to whoever's going to be helping manage that client. They say hello, ensure they come in for their first session, get them in that first session. And then from there, it is contact several times throughout that first week, normally around, you did a great job. When are you going to be in next? We'll see you then. Hey, awesome to see you come through again today. Will you be in again on Friday? Great. We'll see you then. Hey, you had a great week. Good to get your first week in the books. We'll see you next week on Monday. And then repeating that process for the next week. And then normally, if it's a 28-day program, normally at the end of that second week. If it's a 6-week program, probably the end of that third week, give or take. It's saying, hey, you're doing a great job so far. We are getting towards the end of your program. You don't need to say how long you've got to go, but we're getting towards the end of things. We would love to have you continue on. Let's organize a time where we can go through the options moving forward and see what's best for you. Are you free tomorrow for a call.
Yeah, and why we chose the end of week 2, start of week 3 is because typically by then they've done 5 to 7 sessions. And for me, they are at their absolute high point, as in their legs are no longer burning. They've made friends in the studio, and they've had an appropriate amount of time in your facility to truly make a great decision for them. And what that means is that's when you can do 6 and 12 and 18 and 24 months. Because if you take someone from a low barrier 2 for 20 and try and do 12 months day one, I understand why they wouldn't want to do it. So it actually just makes the most logical sense. Like they've done 28 days or 6 weeks, 2 weeks, they love it. Like the next step isn't to do a month to month or 28 days again. It is like, all right, let's make a long-term commitment here.
And if you are successful in signing that person up, payments don't start until the end of the period. So it's not like you're cutting them short on what they paid for. It's just about having that conversation early when their motivation is higher. They're at a high point. And not to say that they're going to be at a low point soon after, but you want to really be able to leverage that motivation to your advantage and use that to your advantage to be able to sign them up onto potentially a longer term deal.
They're more agreeable at the start. They're more likely to refer their friends at the start. They're having a blast. And they might be feeling the best they felt in 5, 10, 15 years.
Well, the easier way to say it is there's just no point waiting any longer. Like, why would you just wait till 3 weeks or 4 weeks? Like they're there. Like they've come in, they have done half a dozen sessions. Like they know what it is. They have got an idea of what the programming is. They've met, if you've got several trainers, they've probably met a few of those. They've maybe tried some different times. They know everything they need to know during that time, like well and truly. So they are in a great position to be able to make a decision. And then, like you said, they're not, if they are just starting exercise for the first time in a while, that initial soreness is starting to subside and their body's starting to adjust. At the end of that second week, they still might have some DOMS and some soreness, but nothing like after the first one. So it's just the perfect time. And that's the reason why that rolled off my tongue just before, is because I sent that text message hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times at the end of that second week.
Thousands, mate.
And there is some work to it, because we had spreadsheets and we see how much people have been coming, and I can say, okay, this person's come 5 times.
Perfect time to reach out.
I'm going to say, hey, doing a great job. We'd love to have you continue on.
Yeah.
It would be great to organize a time for a call so I can run you through the options we have moving forward to see what's best for you.
And I guess what we went back to, preferring the silent sale for our clients is there is complexity to doing it at the end of week 2. I do think you get a better result. I actually do. But there's a spreadsheet, there's a tracker, there's making sure they came, it's going through Mind and Body or Waterfire, whatever software that you use. So we're just trying to eliminate as much complexity as possible.
I think both work really well, to be honest. I think the main takeaway is, if you're doing that assumptive sale, silent sale, order renew, whatever you want to call it, the next 4 weeks, the next 6 weeks still needs to be really high touch.
Yeah. Well, I'll jump in there. Like, they both work really well, but I think if you do the silent sale to 2 weeks, you're going to get the exact same number of people if your first 2 weeks is impeccable. But I think the more you do it 2 weeks, the more you can likely get them on a longer term membership.
I agree with that. If you are wanting to do, because we would have 6 and 12 month options, and part of my thing was, let's decide what option works
Rattle
best
off
for
your
you.
tongue, mate. Give it to me.
It would, and then you'd have a call with them, and you say, great, we have 2 options here. We have our 12-month option, which is $66 a week, which is the same as what you paid initially. That's our most popular option. Or we have our 6-month option, which is $75 a week. Both are billed fortnightly on a day and date that suits you. Which would work best for you?
And I'll choose the most popular option, thanks.
Of course, no worries. We'll get that set up. And then it's just like, we work out dates, got your card on file, we'll use that one. Bob's your uncle. We're off.
Yeah.
It's very, very easy. Very, very easy if you are able to get them onto that phone call. But the phone, and I'd say this to you all the time, the call was simple. It wasn't a sales call. It was really just following.
Which is why you shouldn't hire an agency to do it.
Following procedure. But it was everything leading up to that, which was a process. And you need to be able to book that call. You need to have that call, book at a time that suits them, have that follow-up throughout those first few weeks, so then they're in a good frame of mind and they're wanting to continue. But
I often hear about like creating highs in your customer journey when you ask for referrals. And like at the end of week 2, and I don't want to convince anyone to do end of week 2, do silent sale if you've got a team, but like it really is like the highest they are ever going to be on your business. Like, they've gone from someone who got off the couch, most likely, they've had an amazing experience, and I think I finally found the place for me.
And one thing we didn't mention, which goes without saying, but your product needs to be good. If you've got shit trainers,
do the silent sale.
Well, you need to fix your product if that's the case. But
the other thing too is, let's say that at the end of the sale or week 2, like say you don't get them week 2, hey, I'm still thinking about it. You get another crack at it, which is why you don't want to do it at the end of week 4, because once that trial period ends or that challenge period ends, there's no additional crack.
Well, obviously, like I didn't get everybody across the line at that point, and there was times they would say, "Hey, I'm just going to see how the next week or 2 goes. I'm going to think about it." I say, "No worries. We just have this conversation early,
And then back your product in.
and we just like to let you know how it all works. I'll talk to you again in a couple of days."
Yep.
Or there would be times that at that point they would say, "Listen, like I really liked it. However, I just can't do it for these reasons." And he said, "No problems.
Yeah.
Like enjoy the next few weeks."
And that person, right, like if you are doing your own sales, at least you still got the 6 weeks at 360 or 28 days at 240, as opposed to 2 to 20 for that person to then turn around and do that again. The other thing too is why I love, like, just we'll make a podcast episode on this, like, about pricing, but like why I love charging a higher price for the front end offer. Like, obviously for our company, it's how we get paid. But like, if that person brings a friend in for free for that first session, hey, do you want to do what your friend did? And the friend pays the gym owner 360. But if someone comes in for 2 for 20 and they refer a friend for 2 for 20, like, just like make as much money off each person that walks through
You're
the
making
door.
no money, or next to no money, and they're, as we said earlier, they're likely to be worse quality.
Yeah.
So there are owners we talk to that just can't get anyone through the door, and they've got different problems. But a lot of them have tried. They've tried the cheap stuff or the free stuff, and they get people in. And why they get started with us is like, I love that you're pricing this at our membership price, and you're sending us through good quality people, because they've had enough of the tire kickers
Yeah.
and the shit kickers. And again, not that every single person we send through is going to convert as a member, but it is going to be far higher than that person who has paid bugger all to be there.
Yeah. So I guess, like, the next thing I want to talk about, mate, is just obviously, say you've done the silent sale or the end of week 2, happy days. It doesn't mean that you can forget about that person. So that person, we have a long document we send to the owners where it's like, send this text day 1, send this text day 2, send this text day 4. We'll link it somewhere. But like,
No, we won't.
I want to drive this home. Like, usage, personal communication. Outside of that, nothing else actually matters.
Yeah, attendance trumps all. You know, if somebody comes 3 times a week for the first 4 weeks or 6 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever, that they are very, very likely to continue on. In addition to, if they're having regular communication with a team member, they are pretty much a certainty.
Yeah, they've paid the right price. They've come 12 times in 28 days, and they've grown really close to Brody. And like, the price is the same.
And it doesn't have to be a message every day. It can be chat to them after a session or before a session. It can be a weekly touch base. Obviously, there are different ways to go about it, but it can't just be they're in there, leave them to their own devices.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they come through, and hopefully they sign up.
If you sign them up like this week and they're starting Monday, you can't get to Friday next week and think, oh fuck, that person hasn't come yet. They're done.
And part of that sale that comes a couple of weeks in, when they've been receiving constant communication throughout the first few weeks, this is just another load of communication for them. It's just another message, another call.
Yeah.
Whereas
so your accountability call on week 2 can be the sales call.
Whereas if they don't get any communication, and then all of a sudden old Mitchy boy reaches out and says, "Hey,
membership.
Hey, you're doing a great job. Let's organize a time to talk." And they're like, "Oh, here comes a sales call. I haven't heard from this guy before." But honestly, so it's like, well, by that point, I'm reaching out to them. We've had Brody, and I've already probably touched base, but we've been in contact for a few weeks. So then this is just another point of contact.
100%. I love automation. I love high level. What I refuse to do, we never did, was automate our onboarding process. So
what I wouldn't do is automate the onboarding process.
I wouldn't automate the onboarding process. Now, don't get me wrong. If you have a workflow that sends 1 email a day for 28 days about nutrition and water and sleep and alcohol,
that's good.
By all means, you should definitely do that. But to drive the usage, it has to be a personal touch, which is why, again, I was so against about, we can't help you convert those clients in the gym, because when Sally comes in for that Monday morning session, if Sally's got a bad knee and she has a brace on it, and Sally does an amazing job in the session, and Brody finds an alternative exercise, she's sweating, having fun, Brody should be referencing that in the follow-up message. Hey, Sally, so proud of you. I'm glad you came through, even though you had a bit of a sore knee on a workout that was more focused towards legs. As you know, we can always find a workaround. Proud of you. See you Wednesday.
A contact first name. You're about 7 days into your challenge now. Great job. You must be feeling it already.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing you back in the gym soon. Cheers.
Yeah.
Contact
Yeah.
username.
And we have a very, very expensive Zapier subscription. We automate a lot. Like we use high level a lot. We use text email. We use it all. But even for us, when just the same thing when we bring gyms into our done for you service, we don't automate the onboarding process. Like I will manually type. I spoke to ex gym owner. They are 45 minutes southwest of Melbourne. They have worked with an agency previously. They got a really, really poor result. They didn't get enough leads because they were targeting outside of the area. Mitch, on the call, they also want to discuss some organic strategies to get some cash flow in the business. In the meantime, they haven't done much with ex-members in the past.
And then I have a 45-minute onboarding call with them.
Yeah, it's the same thing, right? Like we our onboarding, something that I'm really proud of because I don't know what we did 14 months ago, but it is really involved now.
Yeah, and if I understand the want to automate as much as possible, we do that, but there are some things that you just can't automate, and we feel like onboarding is one of them because of the payoff of what you get if you sign up someone.
12 months at 66.
It's $3,500. And for some people, it's more than that if they got higher price point. Maybe they stay longer than 12 months. I'm sure everyone's got examples of members that have been with you for years and years, and it's in the tens of thousands of dollars. Then.
So you give that person the world-class reinforcement after the sale, that 24 hours of perfection, lots of communication. They have an amazing first session. Trainer reaches out. World-class experiences first 14 days. I'm going to choose 12 months, Mitch. And also, I've got actually my husband wants to come down too. Is that okay?
And some people may be thinking, well, it's all well and good to have that level of service at the start, but what happens afterwards? You obviously can't sustain that. And the answer is, of course not. But that's where initially setting the expectation for that person around
why
hey,
does the 28-day challenge cost more? Because in the first 28 days, we provide a lot more of support to break some of those bad habits.
And say, Susie, here at the start, we are going to be in really constant communication with you because we feel like this is the most important time for you to establish some new habits, establish a new routine so we can get you in here regularly so you can start working towards that weight loss goal we have. Does that sound fair enough? Of course. And just right there, you're setting the expectation that there is going to be a lot of communication here at the start. And then as they start to get more comfortable in everything, that can start to slow down. And that's a podcast for another day. But there needs to be more at the start as part of that onboarding for any business, any service-based business. There is more communication at the start. It's the same with our business now. We have a lot of touch points initially. And then as they get into the program more, we still have check-ins and still communicate, but it's not obviously as much as it is at the start because it doesn't need to be.
Yeah. I'll talk about two bonuses, mate. Bonus number one, everyone in their gym has a fucking legendary member. Ours was Lindsay, who was
Corey.
So amazing, and Corey. They were so amazing with new members. And if a new person walks into your gym and Corey and Lindsay are in there, they all walk up to them, they'll say hello. I'm sure you're feeling nervous. I felt the same way. If you can partner them up, position them next to each other, that will go such a long way to ensuring the success. Bonus number two, if you have a function, get them to that fucking function.
Yeah, well, that's such a huge retention tactic.
We had people come to our trivia nights that were on like a 6-week challenge, and they're having a great time. They're drinking. They're out till 2 a.m. with us. Probably going to continue as long as you don't do anything stupid.
And the other thing, if it ever arises, is if you've got two people starting together at the same day, that's when you say, "Hey, Sally, we got Susie starting as well today. It'd be great for you guys to." Introduce yourselves. You guys can partner up today, and all of a sudden you've got a new friendship.
High contact first name. You may notice that in your first session there'll be another first timer. We recommend you go partner up with them.
Cheers. Contact username.
It's funny, mate. When sales and I think tone's way overdone in sales now. So, Mitch, what do you think about this? And I think automation's way overdone.
Well, people know too, right? People know if it's automated, and that's where there is something about if something specific happens. And when we created systems for this, for Brody and our other team members to do this, I would literally write in an asterisk, if there is something noteworthy that's happened, refer to that in that message. Whether it could be hey, great job on that bike today. I know it was a really tough workout in that heat. That cannot be automated. as opposed to high contact first name. You're about halfway through your challenge so far.
Yeah.
So there is the personalized touch that you can add, and it comes back to just being a human being.
Yeah. Generally caring, like, because we talk about marketing and sales a lot, but I love fitness. I will love fitness for my entire life. My brother Wade got a 50-kilo dumbbell set from Kmart. I was 14. I was jacked in high school, and I've loved it ever since.
Yeah, it really can make a huge difference.
Not so jacked anymore, though.
Gone
35,
worse 20 years on.
20 years on.
20 years of lifting weights.
So I guess, like, because you were really, we both did sales for our own gyms. We both did a bit of onboarding, but that was definitely your role towards the end. So you know more than me about onboarding. Like, what are your biggest takeaways?
Well, we've mentioned some of them. Attendance trumps all. We had a spreadsheet, and it would be literally a spreadsheet. Week 1, how many times people would visit. Week 2, how many times people would visit. I would go into that spreadsheet. I would see the end of week 2. Sally's come 6 times. She's on track. Let's sign her up.
Yeah.
So being able to track attendance, and software can do it. I think people will overdo software a little bit for new people because there is already so much for them coming in. There's a bit of overwhelm. If you're also making them sign into classes and you're tracking this.
Some of the apps we've come across, mate, for these gyms.
So that comes down to we had a communication system internally for our gym with Slack, which we also use for our consulting business, where we'd send to sign-in lists. And it would be a list of the people who came to each session each day. It takes a trainer 1 minute at the end of each class. And then for anyone new, it would have Sally -new. So then even as a second check, if maybe I'm uncertain of the spreadsheet or I just want to see for myself, I can say, okay, Sally came Wednesday morning, scroll. Okay, Monday morning, great. She's come twice this week. She's on track.
And I guess the whole purpose of the spreadsheets and the communication, and the same as cancellations, we're trying to catch it early. Because if they miss that first session and they don't get a message that day, what's the likelihood they make it the next day and then join for 12 months?
Very, very, very low. Borderline impossible.
Yeah.
So
we've been really digging Sam Oven's content lately. So good. Most direct guy ever. He's a New Zealand business coach, founded the school. But his whole thing is like, just focus on what actually matters. And you said before, if a gym owner isn't focusing on this or isn't doing the onboarding, he'd want to have a chat to him. What more important tasks do you have than converting high paid members into a 12-month membership?
It's something that really can move the needle. And especially when your membership prices are high, or even if they're not that high, when you're looking at 12 months of membership or longer, like, it's a substantial amount of money, and that's what's going to help move your business forward. So as far as I'm concerned, if there's something else that's getting in the way of you doing this, it's very, very likely that that's not a good use of your time, as good of use of time as this is.
You know, I love math more than most people, mate. Like, if you convert one extra person per week for the entire year, 52 members. Every single gym owner I talk to, what do you want? 50 more members. So it really can be the difference. And like, if you combine the opposite, which is like not enough leads, poor quality leads, the ones that come in aren't paying enough, they're not coming up to the first session, there's no usage, there's no communication, they ghost you at the end of week 2. Like, how many more leads do you need to achieve the end goal of that extra 50 members? How much more marketing, how much more manpower? So just like, you can make your life a lot easier.
Yeah, and then if you've got someone on your team to help, it's very, it's instrumental. But maybe you do have to roll up your sleeves and do it yourself, because if you are working with us, we're doing everything else. So this is really where you're able to nurture these people. Don't automate it. Keep it personalized. Sign them up early, either initially or after a couple of weeks, and then watch that membership number.
And I want to finish with one thing, mate. Just referrals. Like, you've most likely exhausted your current member database of every single person they've ever met in their life. So when a new person comes in, when we pass a client over, the communication to the owner is like, hey, reach out to this person, double, triple check that first session, build some rapport. On that call, say like, hey, like, I know you're probably feeling a bit nervous. Do you want to bring a friend in for free for that first session? They bring a friend in for free that first session. I say this exactly. The world's shittest salesperson can say, hey, do you want to do what your friend did? And then they pay our gym owner client that money. And our gym owners they make money in the first 28 days too. Like, just the ability to get referrals in the first 28 days. So if you convert one more person and get 2 referrals extra a month, it just all compounds.
Well, it's ironic, but people are much more likely to refer someone in the first week than they are after a year. And even though they really have no idea if you can help them, if they're going to stay long term,
they're at
or
their high point.
they are excited that they've done something new. They want someone to do it with them, perhaps, or they're just telling anyone who'll listen, especially if you are
Sharing on their Instagram stories for the first time.
There's also it goes against what seems obvious, but before you've actually proven what you can do, people are singing your name from top of the mountain. They're excited. So you really need to use that to your advantage. And I say to owners, like, you need to ask. There's a lot of times where people, they don't know that they can refer someone. It sounds stupid, but if they've come through a cold Facebook campaign, they haven't been referred. They don't know that you would love for them to refer their friends. So sometimes just asking, saying, hey.
We found that people that actually come down with a friend in the first 6 weeks, they're actually more motivated. They come in, they work out together. It's always easier doing something together. If you have any friends, they can come down for free. And what you can do, if you get really fancy, you can send that lead, that person you just sold, a gift card, like one free session. They then forward it onto their friend. That's definitely a podcaster on the day.
Yeah, there's a few ways you can go about it, but I think in the most basic way, you just ask. Hey, Sally, great to have you on board. Looking forward to having you start. Hey, but before I let you go, have you got anyone else that might want to do this with you? We found that people that have friends or someone from their family come along with them, they have lots of fun. They see great results. So, is there anyone who you can think of that may be interested? Yep. And just that.
And then this. Do you want to do what your friend did?
Hey, does you sound good? You want to sign up as well? Yeah. We'll just do what they did.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for listening to our marketing and sales series. We got retention coming up next, but I think
everyone's favorite.
I think I might add one in because I'm so passionate about the contracts. So between like silent sale, I think contracts, then retention, because contracts like
another fan favorite.
Don't get me started. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Have a lovely